Here are 12 acts of kindness that will restore your faith in humanity. Number 12. Clearing a congested highway for an ambulance. It's one thing to help people whom you know are capable of returning the favor, but it's another to do something for people you're most likely never going to meet again. This 20-year-old is stuck in traffic, and before you know it, he notices that there's an ambulance trying to get through. It turns out that inside the ambulance is a stroke patient who needs to get to the hospital immediately. So rather than sit in his vehicle and do nothing, here's what the guy does. The 20-year-old gets out of his car and tries to create a clear path for the ambulance, despite the traffic. As you can see, he walks up to the owners of the vehicles and presumably whispers to them the situation at hand. And thankfully, they veer off the path without complaints or coercion. The ambulance drives forward as more vehicles make room. Hopefully, the ambulance gets to the hospital in time for the patient's emergency treatment. Number 11. Birthday surprise. Of the many things that come to mind when you're about to watch videos of birthday surprises, a school staff board celebrating their longtime non-academic employee might be one of them. In this clip, a man named Mr. Corey Young, who has been cleaning at this school for a long time. And by a long time, I mean years. As a matter of fact, it is said that he has come to see the school as a second home rather than just another source of livelihood, but that is beside the point. On Young's birthday, while carrying out his regular duties at the school, he has no idea that the school staff, as well as the students, have a surprise plan for him. He gets led into the surprise room by an employee and is not ready for what is before him. As soon as the door opens to Mr. Corey, everybody shouts in surprise. Mr. Corey looks around and is overwhelmed by gratitude and happiness, to the point that he begins to cry. Members of the staff then take their turns hugging him and wishing him a happy birthday. That is so touching. Number 10. Picking up an old man who fell off a bicycle. Although I entirely agree that not too many people like to see the elderly uncomfortable and in pain, that doesn't take away the fact that this older man will never forget the help he received from this vehicle owner. While driving down the highway, this vehicle owner notices that an older man has fallen off his bike on the pedestrian walkway. Rather than drive off like every other vehicle owner before him had done, he parks his car and comes down to lift the older man from the ground. Thankfully, the older man doesn't appear to have suffered any severe injuries. As soon as he's able to stand steadily on the ground, he begins to walk away with his bicycle. And honestly, that might have been a better idea. Who's to say he might not fall off the bike again, and maybe, unfortunately, not get anyone to help him? Anyway, the vehicle owner still appears concerned even as the man walks away. But let's hope he gets to his destination without the same thing repeating itself. Number 9. Gifting a young boy a tab. As with the elderly, I also believe that not many people derive pleasure when they see children suffer or struggle for things that should be easily accessible. A young boy is in his school uniform doing a school assignment via a tab on display inside a shop. Clearly, the child is uncomfortable because first, he's standing. Now, think about the number of times he's had to subject himself to this extreme discomfort just to get his assignments done. Probably having seen the boy go through all this trouble one too many times, one of the shop attendees decided to visit the boy and present him with a tab of his own. Wow. Now, the boy doesn't have to worry about going all the way to a shop to use a tab on display for his assignments. Talk about a true restoration of faith in humanity. Number 8. Catching a horse. It comes easy to me to help people I know, even though I strive to extend help to whoever needs them. Whether or not I know who they are, it appears to be the same for this Good Samaritan. A horse rider is chasing down her horse, who somehow managed to get away from her. Since the horse rider is trying to get to the horse by foot, a motorcyclist figures he can get to the horse faster. So he sets his sight on the horse and takes it upon himself to help. The motorcyclist almost gets to the horse, but the horse gets away from him and even races faster. This pursuit continues for several minutes, but thank goodness it didn't turn out to be a wild goose chase. True to the motorcyclist's guess, he catches up with the horse before the rider and holds onto it from his motorcycle. Later, the horse rider catches up with him and is grateful that her horse is safe. Number 7. Another touching birthday surprise. We often see individuals and organizations set up programs and structures without making provisions for disabled people. But thankfully, this chef proves that there just might be hope for humanity. You hear me, big guy up there? You might want to slow down before sending another flood or something. I will take a pizza though. Anyway, let's get back on track. It's the woman's birthday, and while it doesn't appear like she is all by herself, judging from the noise in the background in the video recording, the staff in the restaurant where she chooses to celebrate her birthday decide to celebrate her as well. Putting so much thought into the surprise, the chef uses melted chocolates to design the word "Happy Birthday" on a plate. Sensing that something has been placed in front of her, the disabled woman lifts her hand to get a feel of the item. As a result, she's able to feel the letters on the plate and can tell what the message is. Needless to say, she is shocked and thrilled at the same time. It's reassuring to know that there are still people willing to go the extra mile for others. Number 6. Getting a stranded disabled a clutch. Sometimes all it takes to make your day is one observant, kind-hearted person. At first, one of the vehicle owners noticed that the disabled man needs help, probably because they are too consumed with thoughts of wherever they're headed. Thankfully, a passerby eventually notices, and swinging into action immediately, he gets the disabled man a new clutch and hands it to him. No one knows when the passerby first sees the disabled man because it's not recorded. But it is safe to say that while he was walking by, he saw the man struggling to get up because his clutch had been broken. If you look closely, you'll see the man tries raising the broken clutch over his head, so anyone around would offer to help. Luckily for him, someone does, and he's able to get up again. Number 5. Shaving his hair off to support his wife. People do a lot of crazy things for love, and here's a man who doesn't mind going to great lengths to show that he'll stand by his wife. It happened that the woman had been diagnosed with cancer, and like most cancer patients, needed to take out her hair. She could have quickly gone to a hair salon, but she allows her husband to do it because it's also an intimate moment between the couple. As the man cuts her hair, the woman tries to be strong and smiles her way through the process. But the man sees the sadness beneath her smile and begins to shave off his hair as well, showing just how much he supports his wife. We don't get to see the end of this heartwarming interaction, but we can easily tell how it ended. Number 4. Saving a man whose leg got stuck between the platform and the train. There's always something tender about seeing not only one person, but a group of people who have never met before coming together to help each other out. A man tries to get on the train, but unfortunately for him, he misses a step and gets his left leg stuck between the platform and the train. A few of the employees at the train station come together to help the man out of the dilemma he puts himself in, but to no avail. The failure of the first attempt doesn't worry the man nor the employees, because almost immediately, every passenger gets out of the train and begins to push it so the man can get out of its hold. The train is said to weigh about 33 tons, but the passengers are not perturbed as they prove their might and succeed in getting the man out of such an alarming situation. Number 3. Risking their lives to save 3 stray dogs. If you're a dog parent, the idea of anyone discovering stray dogs and not doing anything about it might not sit very well with you. And guess what? A bunch of people had decided to do so in this scenario until this woman chose to step up and rescue the dogs. At first, she has a bit of difficulty trying to get the dogs all in one place and into her car. Her first attempt fails, and the dogs return to the middle of the road. As she tries a second time, 2 of the dogs slip past her into the front seat of her car. Even as the light turns green, the woman doesn't fret, as she is still hell-bent on rescuing the dogs. Luckily, another person leaves their vehicle and helps the woman get all 3 dogs in her car. That definitely deserves a whew. Number 2. Preventing an accident from happening. A young man looks into a car driving past and finds out that the car has actually been moving by itself. It turned out that the driver of the car had a seizure, but no one knew. Thankfully, the young man spotted the driver in time and flew into his vehicle to save the day. As soon as the young man gets into the car, he stops the car from moving, and shortly after, the police notice that something is up. They rush in and presumably begin to call 911 while the young man slips away like he didn't just prevent an accident from happening. Number 1. Saving the life of an unconscious man in a restaurant. A young man falls unconscious in a restaurant while eating. As soon as the people at the table next to him notice this, they bring out their seats and try to help him. Apparently, some food had blocked his airway while he was eating. Soon enough, an employee in the restaurant creates space, picks the man up, and gives him first aid treatment. Luckily, the man regains consciousness. Alright guys, that sums up our list of random acts of kindness that will restore your faith in humanity. Are there any other ones you think we missed? Feel free to share them in the comments. Also, you can be one of those who help to restore people's faith in humanity today. All you need to do is first go out there, be kind, and I'll catch you in the next video.